Hi all, I'm your cloud captain Ranjit from University of Lucknow, and today we have with us Miss Om Shri Britani. Uh, Om Shri is a seasoned technology evangelist with a deep passion for cloud computing. As a prominent figure in the tech community, she has extensive experience in cloud architecture, DevOps, and digital transformation. Om Shri's expertise lies in leveraging AWS services to drive innovation and efficiency in organizations. Her engaging speaking style and wealth of knowledge make her a sought after speaker at conferences and seminars where she shares insights on the latest trends and best practices in cloud technology. She has already taken this particular webinar multiple times, and I love this webinar, and I hope you will too love it. Uh, I think Omshi ma'am has joined us, so yeah, I can see her. So, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. I mean, it's Sunday afternoon, and still we have quite a good amount of people joining us. I would like to know more about my audience. So, friends, would you mind dropping your name, from what university you are, and what are you expecting from this session? What was your motive behind joining today's webinar? Just drop in chat. Let's have some interactive. Okay, I have few. Okay, Ayush from University of Lucknow. Hi, Ayush. Abhinendra. All right. Hi, Faiza. Hello. Hi, Sneha. Okay, so most of you are from University of Lucknow. From what semester do you guys belong? Third semester. Seventh. Okay. Fifth. Fifth. Ashish from MIT, also working at HCL. Okay, just explain more about AWS. Perfect. Um, Rohit from BSc, fifth semester. Hi, Rohit. Divyanshi from fifth semester. Hello. I mean, students from third semester, hats off to your passion that, you are very curious about new technologies and willing to learn from the early ages of your university. So that's good. Hi, Shikha. You're also from third semester. Nice. All right. Um, I think I got most of the responses, and let me share my screen. Um, Ranjit, I'm not able to share my screen. Can you look into that? Mm,
Uh,
okay, now I can.
yes,
Yeah.
now you can. Actually, a faculty member is joining us in a few minutes, so can you wait?
Let's wait then.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Our audience is actually very new to AWS.
Yeah.
I don't think so. They even know the basics, and so sorry for that because I'm the cloud captain. I should have taken care of that.
Okay.
You will need to go maybe go in depth about a certain technologies so that they do not face difficulties.
All right. So, what all services the audience is aware about? If I get some messages in text, it would be good. What are the services you have used up till now? Hi, Harsh. Okay. You'd love to learn more about Lambda, EC2, S3, and Aurora. Perfect. We will be covering most of the services today. So, yeah, that's good. Okay. Someone wants to know about how CloudWatch works. All right. Lambda and EC2. Perfect. All right. Sahani wants to learn about dynamic website hosting. Hmm. Ashish, we are not going to cover containers in this session because I mean it's very in depth. But definitely, if you have any questions regarding the same, we can go through it in the end. Okay. Uh, Akash wants to know. So Akash wants to know about EC2 S3 and deployment of static website. All right. Ayush wants to know more about Lambda, EC2, and DevTools.
Uh, Hello everyone. We have among us our training and placement cell coordinator and head, Himanshu Pandey sir. So he will be sharing his insights on AWS and about the current market scenario. Over to you, sir.
Hello, Ranjit, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Himanshu Pandey, in charge training and placement cell, University of Lucknow, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this exciting webinar on AWS hands-on in website development, organized by the AWS Cloud Club under the training and placement cell of the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Lucknow. Firstly, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Ms. Omshri Bhutani, who is a DevOps engineer at Intuitive Cloud. We are honored to have you with us today, Ms. Bhutani, and we are all looking forward to your insights and experience on AWS. Additionally, I want to thank you, our student coordinator Ranjit Singh, for his hard work in organizing this event. To all our participants, thank you for taking the time to join us today. This session promises to be an enriching experience for everyone looking to deepen their understanding of AWS and its application in website development. Before we dive into the technical aspects of AWS, I want to share some points about how AWS is seamlessly integrated into our daily lives. In today's digital age, AWS is the backbone of many of the platforms we use daily, whether it is shopping, online streaming, our favorite shows, or even managing our finance. AWS is there behind the scenes, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Let me give you a few examples to illustrate just how integrated AWS is our day-to-day activities. Take e-commerce giants like Flipkart, Myntra. These platforms rely on AWS for hosting, scalability, and content delivery. It is AWS that ensures your shopping experience is seamless, whether you are borrowing products, making purchases, or tracking your orders. Now think about video streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney Plus Hotstar. AWS Content Delivery Network or CDN services make it possible for us to enjoy high quality streaming without interruptions. It is what allows us to binge watch our favorite shows without buffering. If we talk about social media platforms like LinkedIn and Pinterest, also leverage AWS for data storage, backup, and scalability. Every time you update your profile, share a post, or click on a link, AWS working in the background to keep things running smoothly. And when it comes to online banking and financial services, security is paramount. Institutions like ICSI Bank SDFC Bank, and Paytm use AWS not only for transaction processing but also for protecting their platforms from cyber threats. AWS services like AWS Shield and WAF are instrumental in keeping these systems secure. Even in the realm of education, AWS plays a significant role. Online education platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and Byju's use AWS for streaming video lectures, storing data, and delivering content to millions of learners around the world. Lastly, consider the online news website we turn to for information such as Times of India, BBC, and Dainik Jagran. These platforms are also use AWS to ensure their articles and videos load quickly, providing us with up to the minute news without delay. And let's not forget the mobile apps we use every day. Services like Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, and Uber all depend on AWS for their server infrastructure, databases, and content delivery, ensuring that your food order, rides, and other services are just a tap away. As you can see, AWS is deeply embedded on in our digital lives, providing the speed, security, and reliability that we have come to expect from these services. Whether it is e-commerce, video streaming, social media, online banking, education, news, or mobile apps, AWS is powering the experience that have become essential to everyday routines. Thank you once again. Now I request Ms. Omsri to elaborate on the technical aspects of the webinar, and thanks to all of you for joining the webinar.
Thank you so much, Himanshu sir. Thank you for having me here. And all right. So, are you guys excited for today's webinar? Okay, I can see so many thumbs ups. Perfect. All right. Let me present my screen. Mm, okay. Let me go into presenter mode. Just bear with me, give me a second. Okay. Mm, do you know why not? Yeah. Let me know, if you are able to see this. Ranjit, are we good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. And you guys able to hear me properly, right? So in between, if you have any doubt or if you feel like something is not you are not able to get something, you can just ask me directly. I have already been introduced by Ranjit and Himanshu sir. So let's move ahead. And I think we don't need these as well. So these are few certifications that I have. I forgot to update one or two. But in the end, if you have any questions regarding certificates as well, right? So we can go through it. And okay. All right. So what is needed for website development? Anybody of you have done any website development not in cloud but somewhere else? Let me end the slideshow. I don't know why it's not coming properly. And I also want this on another screen. Perfect. Now I can see you as well and I can read the chats. So, all right. Anybody of you have done? Okay, Rohit has done on Hostinger. So what is needed? What is needed for website development? Few things would be needed, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that would be your code. So you need a code, but what you need to host it? Maybe a computing server, right? What else? Harsh is done on Vercel. Okay. Domain name. Yes, domain name is needed. What else? We need a compute, we need domain. What else do we need for hosting an entire website? Hosted setting, okay, using S3, perfect. Hosting platform, yes, you need a hosting platform, right? But what does a hosting platform provides you? What does it provides you with? You need servers, right? You need storage, you need framework, right? So these are the things that you need for hosting your one website, right? And how do you get all these things easily? It is in cloud service provider, right? If you go to AWS, you will get compute, you will get storage, you will get domain name, you will get, network. Everything is there. Instead of purchasing your own servers and maintaining it, maintaining the hardware part, and upscaling it, adding more servers, it's very much simpler if we just go to one of the cloud service provider and we host our website over there, right? So these are the few things that we need. Now let's talk about AWS services for web development. Which are the AWS services that we use for website development? So anybody of you knew all these services which are mentioned over here? Have you heard about EC2, DynamoDB, Elastic Beanstalk, Route 53, RDS, S3, Gateway, API Gateway? How many of you have heard at least few services from here? I want few names in the chat. Okay, Ranjit, of course. Who else? Lisa has heard all. Kudos to you, Lisa. Yes, Somya has also heard few services. Perfect. Heard some of them. All right. Harsh has learned it about in awesome days. Nice. Except cloud formation, I work on all of them. Congratulations, Ashish. That's really good. And cloud formation is also very good. It is infrastructure as code service, so you will love that also. Try exploring that. All right. Same awesome day conference. Perfect. So let's do one thing. I'll give a brief info about all these services for those who don't know it already, right? Most of you have known, but we'll go through it like very quickly. So what is AWS EC2, Amazon EC2? So it is, cornerstone of AWS. This is my go-to AWS services. It helps you in getting servers, right? Instances in the cloud. It's where you can deploy your web applications to run on EC2. It provides you flexibility, it provides you scalability. It also provides you a wide range of instances and OS types. You can have Red Hat, you can have Ubuntu, you can have Linux, you can have Windows. You have different types of OS available, and you don't have to, worry about how to maintain everything. EC2 takes care of it. Another one is DynamoDB. What is DynamoDB? It is a fully managed NoSQL database, right? It also delivers high performance and scalability. So if you have very large data sets, right? So that's where you use DynamoDB. And it is also good for real-time applications. Now, if I talk about Elastic Beanstalk, what is Beanstalk? Beanstalk is like a hot platter. It give you, ready to host your website. So I can say that it simplifies your deployment and management of web application. It handles all the infrastructure like provisioning servers or load balancers or scaling or allowing developers. It allows developers to focus on their code rather than taking care of underlying infrastructure. So that is where we use Elastic Beanstalk. You just have to take your code and deploy it over there in whatever environment, in Node or in JDK, wherever you want to deploy it, you can do it in Elastic Beanstalk, and you don't have to take care of underlying infrastructure. Next is Route 53. I remember someone telling that you require domain name to, host your website. So Route 53 is one such thing that will help you to get your domain name, to host your private zones and public zones, right? Next is AWS RDS. So RDS is again a relational database. You can host your MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, any kind of database in RDS. Another one is S3. This is my second favorite AWS services, and in today's session we will go deep into EC2 and S3. So S3 is simple storage service. It is durable, it is cost effective, and you can store your object in S3 buckets. Right? It is ideal for storing files, videos, images, and other data. And it has been told that S3 you can store infinite size of data. You can store any size of data, and you don't have to worry about it. Next is CloudFront. So CloudFront is a CDN. It's a content delivery network services. So it caches your content, and it gives it from the nearest edge location. It reduces your latency, and it also improves your performance. Next one is CloudFormation. Someone told me that they have not explored CloudFormation, except that they have explored everything. So right now, how do you deploy, something on cloud, or how do you create anything on cloud? It's by click and point kind of thing. So you do it manually from going to console, right? In case you want to get everything in a code and then you want to deploy it, then that is one of the best practices. And in industry, this is how we create anything in AWS environment. If we want to create a EC2 server, we will not go in console and we will tick everything and do it. Rather, we will write a code, and then we will deploy it via VS Code or whatever you were using, and then we will deploy it. In cloud formation, you have to write code, it will be stored in a file, and then you have to deploy that file that will create the entire infrastructure. So that is cloud formation, infrastructure as code. Another one is Lambda. Most of you would be very much familiar with Lambda. So Lambda is a serverless compute service, and it works similar as EC2, but in Lambda you don't have to take care of underlying infrastructure. You just have to write your code, and it is a function. Whenever you will trigger, then and then only your Lambda function would be executed. So Lambda automatically scales, and it handles varying workloads. That's why it is also very cost effective. Next one is API gateway. So some or the other way you will need APIs in your website development, right? So API gateway creates, it manages, and it also secures your RESTful APIs. It handles various tasks such as traffic management or authorization or monitoring, and making it easy to build. Next one, what we have is SES, simple email service. Suppose you have developed some website or some application where you also want notifications as email. So SES is a AWS service which will help you to get notification in your emails. So it helps you send transactional emails like order confirmation or password resets, or some marketing kind of emails. So that is where we use AWS SES. And in today's discussion, let's go deep into S3. Most of you know what is S3. It is one of the main building blocks of AWS. It is advertised as infinitely scaling, as I like to say that it is an infinitely scaling storage. You can store as many amount of data as you have, but the best practice is you store it in chunks of 5 GB, which is called one object. So one object would be 5 GB. And again, you can store another object which could be large in amount. If you have a file consisting of 500 GB, then the best practice is to store in chunks of 5 GBs, right? Many websites use S3 as a backbone, because in S3 you can store your files, you can store your images, you can store your videos, right? Many AWS services use S3 as an integration. So it is also used as an integration service for web development. Another thing is S3 allows people to store files in buckets. Um, if you ask me what is bucket, I would say it very simply. Bucket is your folder. Suppose you have one project, and in one project you have to submit three different kind of files in written as assignment, right? So how will you submit it? You will have it in a folder. So this folder is your bucket. bucket has a globally unique name. Folder is a bucket, and inside that folder you will store your three different assignments. So these three different assignments are your objects, right? So this is simple what is S3. And S3 looks like it's a global service, but all the buckets are created in different regions. So it is also called a regional service. Now, how to create a static website on S3. So there are 7 points that it's very easy to create static website, and you always have to remember these 7 points. A, to create a bucket. B, to upload an object, right? C is to enable static website hosting. So this is one of the option where you have to go check whether your static website hosting is enabled or not. Fourth, to edit block public access setting. So if your public access is blocked, you will not be able to access whatever it is there in your S3 bucket. Next one is to add bucket policy. Another one, sixth point, is to test your website endpoint, whether it's working or not. And seventh and very most important point is to clean up. Once you are performing a little lab session, it's always the best practice to go back and clean up all the resources that you have created, because you don't want to get charged for that, right? So these are the 7 steps, and we will be exploring all the 7 steps while doing a practical. So okay, can you see my console screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So so I'm very sure that most of you have used how AWS console works and everything. So this is your console screen, and if you want to go through any service, you just have to type over here the name of that service. For our case, we are going through S3. So it will fetch S3, and if you can see in recently, S3 is over here, recently visited services. So I will click on S3, and it will bring up the console. All right. So what do we want to do? What was the first step for creating S3 bucket? Create a bucket, right? We will click in this box, and over here, these are different features of Amazon S3. So S3 does not only help you to host static website, but it also helps you to do so many things. And all the things would be stored, it would be here. It can also help you in storage, lens group, dashboards, and everything. So you can go it over here and you can visit that. But right now we will create the bucket. Let's click on create bucket. All right. What is our bucket type? So right now we want it for general purpose. But if you want it for low latency use cases, you can have it as a directory. Bucket name. Can we have demo as our bucket name? Anybody know answer for this one? Can we have demo as our bucket name? Let's see, let's keep demo, and then we will circle back to this. Now you can copy settings from other existing bucket as well. So if you have one bucket and you want to create identical bucket, same one but with different name, then what you can do is you can copy setting, you can choose bucket from here, whatever bucket you want. We don't want to have settings because we are doing it for the first time. SELs would be disabled, and it is recommended. Why? Because you don't want accounts from someone other's accounts to access your bucket. Suppose I have one account, Ranjit have another account. If I want to give permissions to Ranjit to access my S3 bucket in my account, then I will keep this as enabled. But if I don't want that, I will keep it as disabled because of security purposes, right? Then we will keep all of these as it is. Versioning is something you keep version of your bucket. Suppose you have done, you have uploaded one file today. Tomorrow you will come back and you will upload 2 more files. After 1 week, you will come and upload one video, right? So if you have enabled bucket versioning, you can go back to different versions of when you have stored what things. So it will keep a kind of directory where you will get all the logs what you have done and at what time. But that is again costly, and right now I'm trying to show you everything which will not cost you a penny, so that you can practice it. So we will keep it as disabled. If you want to keep tags, you can. In industry, it's a best practice to keep tags. So let me tag it. Owner of this bucket is Om Shri, so I have just tagged it. We will keep default encryption. We don't want to have any other encryptions. We have three kinds of default encryptions in S3. One is the one managed by S3 managed keys. Another one is server side, and again it is managed by AWS key management service. So key management service is one kind of service that AWS offer, which will encrypt your data. And the last one is dual layer server side encryption. So this encryption will also happen at server side, but there will be two layers encryption. So we can keep it as SSE S3 as of now. Do you want to have a bucket key? We can enable it as well as disable it. Right now, we don't want any kind of bucket keys. Advanced setting, it's not needed, but I will just let you know. So if you have uploaded any object and you don't want anybody else to come and delete it or modify your object or do anything with your object, then you can just enable this. After enabling this option, you will not be able to delete or modify your own object until and unless you come back and disable it. So this will be in your properties, and I will show you again how to do it, but we will keep it as disabled. And let's create bucket. All right, we can't create bucket, right? Why? Bucket with the same name already exists. So I told you that every bucket should have globally unique name. Your bucket should not have the same name. So demo is a very common name used by everybody, right? So demo is already there. So we cannot have another bucket name as demo. What we can have? Cloud Club Lucknow maybe. All right, let's see if this name is taken or not. Create bucket. All right, so this is a globally unique name. Nobody has created a bucket named as Cloud Club Lucknow. So we were able to create. Now let's click on view details. Your bucket is successfully created. What was our second step? I'm reading chats. What was our second step? First one was to create bucket. What was the second step in this? Do you remember the roadmap that I shown you before 5 or 6 minutes maybe? Put object into bucket, right? Upload object. How can you do? Very simple. You can see a option over here, upload. You click on it and okay, just bear with me. My network might be, okay, we got it. What we want to do, we want to add some files. I'll click on add files and all right, I have some files in place. Let me check if I have already something. Okay, I have something. Index.html is something that I want to upload. I will click on this. I will select that file and I will upload it over here. Okay, it is uploaded successfully, right? Now, what was our third step? Enable static website hosting. Perfect. Let us close this. Let's go here. So from where you will get that option? That is one of the property, right? So it will be in properties. You have to click properties. You have to scroll it your way entirely down. Static website hosting would be your last option. You have to click on edit and then you just have to enable this. All right. Here you can mention the name of first file that you want your page to show. We have already uploaded one file, so we will write that only. And you can save the changes. You have enabled the static website hosting and you just have to copy this endpoint. This is the endpoint by which you can, get your website. Let's click. Let's see what is happening. Are we able to get or no 403, which means access is denied. So what would be our next step? Why access has been denied? Come on, I'm expecting some answers. What should we do to troubleshoot this? Access is denied, then what we will do? We'll try to get, okay, we will try to make it public. We will try to add some policies so that we can get our object. how to do that. We can go into permissions, and our fourth step was to enable public block public access. We will edit this. We will deselect this one. So now we are not blocking anything, we are allowing everything to access our object. But if you have some specific requirement, then you can click on either of these option if you have such specific requirements. Right now we don't have. If you want to restrict it from few and only allow few people to access it, you can do it with these different options, but it's not needed right now. So we will just deselect entire thing and we will save it. So now what we have done is we have disabled that blocking of all the public access. Next is you have to write one bucket policy. Now I think I have already written a bucket policy and I can explain you that one. Let me open it. Okay, so this is our bucket policy. Let's go over here. Let me paste it. Okay, you will have to click over here, edit, and then only you will be able to paste your policy. I will also paste it in our chat so that you can have it if you want. All right. Perfect. So what is this version? This is the version when this bucket policy was created, right? What statement? In statement, what you have to mention is this 5 or 6 things. One is SID, means statement ID. What are you giving the ID? Public read get object, so that public will be able to read your object as well as get your object, means fetch your object with the link. Effect, what are you giving the effect? Effect is allow. Allow means you are not denying, you are allowing people to read and get your object. If you are denying over here, people would not be able to have this specific policy. Principle is star, that means it is applicable to everything. Your action is to get object. S3 get object is your action, and the resource is ARN AWS S3 bucket name. So here we are making one mistake, and what I will tell you, let me just save changes. You can see unknown error. Why? Policy has invalid resource. And how did you get it? You can also diagnose it with Amazon Q. Have you heard about Amazon Q? Anybody, have you heard about Amazon Q? Okay. Let me tell you. So Amazon Q is latest generative AI service of AWS, and it will diagnose your issue, whatever issues you are facing in creating any feature or any service. So here bucket name is not the name of our bucket. What is the name of our bucket? In the comment section, guys, what's the name of our bucket? Nobody remember what was the name of our bucket? All right, let me type then. It was Cloud Club Lucknow, right? And now let's try to save it. It has been saved. Perfect. What was our last step now? We have given access. What we will do, we'll try to refresh this and we'll try to see, are we able to get it? Yes, we are able to get our web page. And this is how you host your static website. One of the cool and creative way to show your resume to somebody is upload your resume in S3 bucket, create a link like this, and instead of Cloud Club Lucknow, you can have your own name or the profile for which you are applying, and then keep it, send it over in cover letter or whatever you're sending it to different companies for internships. So this is one of the cool way. This is what I have done, and I got so many opportunities because of this, because people come to know that, hey, you have used something creative to show your resume. So try this today, or whenever you have some time, try to host your resume as a static website on AWS S3. Now, what is the thing that we should do after completion of our successful lab? We will delete all these resources, right? So let's go to bucket. Let's try to delete the bucket. What was the name of our bucket? Cloud Club Lucknow. We will check over here. We will try to delete it from here, and we are facing a issue. Why? This bucket is not empty. So until and unless your bucket is not empty, you will not be able to delete your bucket. And how your bucket will be empty? By deleting the objects which are in your bucket. So you can click here, empty objects. So you have to permanently delete the objects. You have to copy it and paste it over here, permanently delete. Let's empty our bucket. Our bucket is successfully emptied now, and we can exit this one. We can again try to delete our bucket, and let's see if this time it gets deleted or not. We have to write the name of our bucket, which was Cloud Club Lucknow, and let's delete. All right, we have successfully deleted our bucket, and this is how you can host your static website. Now, any question in how to host your static website on S3? I have also pasted the bucket policy in case you want to practice it. Wow, this is cool, Ranjit. I mean, those whoever will be able to successfully do this challenge and post on LinkedIn will get some AWS swags. This is great. Okay. Thank you, Ashish. Hope it was clear to all of you. What about set up SSL and TLS certificate through AWS Certificate Manager for secure HTTPS certifications? Yes, you can do that, Harsh. Let me, just guide you a little bit how to do it. I didn't want to cover it over here because we don't have that much time. You can go to ACM. I'm sorry, just bear with me. My internet is not good today. But yes, Shubham. Is it different from hosting in GitHub pages or just another way to host our pages? So, Shubham, hosting in GitHub pages is also similar kind of thing, but it would be restricted in GitHub only, right? It will be showcased to your profile. Whereas if you want to do something in cloud, this is very basic example that I've taken. I've just hosted a simple page, but in S3 you can also host, entire website, entire portfolio, or for industrial use case you have so many things, right? So for industrial and company use cases you cannot host it on GitHub. For that you want something more secure, something more feasible, so that if you want to integrate, such as Harsh asked, right, we want to integrate ACM or certificates for HTTPS. If you want to do it for GitHub, again you want to take support of other third party tools. Whereas in AWS you will get everything at one place, and that's why we host all these things in AWS. It is same in GitHub also. You can host your static web pages. In S3 also you can host your static web pages. That's right. What else? mm, you would have to So Ashish, what you can do, if your free tier account is expired, you can try it with another email ID. So try doing this hack. Or else what you can do is in AWS Educate, you get access to labs. So this is where you can, perform this thing and let Ranjit know. All right. Next, Harsh, about your question, let me see if I'm able to get ACM. Okay, I got certificate manager. So basically what you have to do is you have to create one certificate from ACM only itself. And once that certificate is active, you have to connect the endpoint with your S3 bucket that you have created. And this is how you will be able to securely connect your S3 bucket for HTTPS. So you have to request a certificate if you want to get it from AWS itself. If you have some certificates from third party tools, you can import a certificate from here, right? You can import it. And if you want to create CM for your organization, such as some private certificate, right, then you have to visit this one, create a private CA. But these are the two mostly used one is requesting a public certificate from Amazon. Another one is to importing. If you already have a certificate and if you want to import it from third party tool, you can do it from here. Let's not distract from today's agenda. I will share you a link. With the help of it, you will be able to get it very easily, and you'll be able to connect your S3 bucket with AWS certificate. Now, that was about static website hosting. Now let's see about dynamic website hosting. So EC2, it is elastic compute cloud, right? And what you can do is you can host your dynamic websites. You can rent virtual machines, you can store data on virtual drives, you can distribute load across different servers. You can scale horizontal and vertical. There are two kinds of scaling. Horizontal scaling means adding more servers, and vertical scaling is expanding the compute and memory of the one server. So these are few things that you can do in EC2, and knowing EC2 is a fundamental to understand. And let me go through the roadmap, and I will show in console only how you can do it in EC2. So we only have 4 steps in hosting a dynamic website. First one is set up a EC2 instance. Second one is you have to install a web server of your own choice, Apache, Nginx, or whatever web server you want to do it. Third one is you have to create your own website. So if you want to host a dynamic website, you will have few pages, right? So you have to create those pages. And fourth, and the most important one is cleanup, right? So let's get back to console, because to be honest, I'm not someone who goes through PPTs a lot. I'm someone who loves sharing things from console. So this is how your EC2 console looks like. And I think most of you have seen EC2, most of you have used EC2. These are different kind of features. AMIs are there, volumes are there, EBS volumes are there, snapshots are there, network and securities are there, load balancing, as I've already told. So many things are in EC2. Today we will focus on how to host a dynamic website. For that, our first step was to create a EC2 instance, right? So let's launch EC2 instance. You have to click on this launch button. Then you have to give name. We will give web development maybe. You can also give additional tags if needed. So let me give one more tag. And I think we are good. Okay. Here, you have to choose AMI. What is AMI? Is Amazon Machine Image. You have Amazon Linux, you have Mac OS, you have Ubuntu, you have Windows, you have Red Hat, SUSE Linux, Debian. You have so many things to get started. You have my AMIs as well. If you have created any machine image of your own and you want to host that, then you can create it. You can upload it from there. Something that is shared with you from someone else, you can do that as well. And you want to get more AMIs, then you can go over here, browse more AMIs. Basically, it will take you to marketplace of AWS, where people have already created machine images and they are selling it. But our use case is very simple for today. We will go with quick start. We will go with Linux, because Linux one is a free one as well. You can select from here as well whatever you want. In Linux, we are using this from 2. We are using this one, AMI 2023. We don't want SSD volume right now, so we will go with this option. Next. Okay. This is the description. You can change the architecture 64 x86 or ARM. Now, when it comes to instance type, here you will be able to compare between memory and compute. How much memory you want, how much compute you want. If you go for T2 Nano, you will have one CPU and you will have only 0.5 GIB memory. Whereas in T2 Micro, you will have one CPU and 1 GIB memory. And likewise, if you scroll down, there are instances of X large who have 96 GB memory and 48 CPUs. you have so many different kinds of instant types. There are C families, D families, T families, M families. So every family have different use cases, and if you have any doubt in them, I assume that you know it already. If not, and if you want to know more about it, you can drop your questions and we can circle back to it later in the session. Right now we will select t2.micro. We will go ahead without using a key pair because I want to make it quick, or else if you want to use a key pair, you can create your new key from here, RSA key and .pem or ppk, whatever you want, you can create it. If you are using putty, it is advisable to use .ppk. So okay, network, let's create a security group. Let's allow these things. HTTPS, if you don't allow, it's fine. Right now I have kept it anywhere. If you want to have it customized, or if you want only few IPs to get the access to your EC2 instance, you can have it customized whatever you want, but we want it anywhere. Anybody should access this one. And we are not going in detail, we just want one instance, right? That's why here is number of instance one. Suppose you are in very large organization and you want to have instance 10 similar instance, you will not go through this process 10 times, right? It is very tiring. Instead what you will do is you will add it over here, so that now there will be 10 different instances of similar infra configurations what you have mentioned over here. So let's keep it one, but this is one of the simple and easiest way to have identical EC2 instances. So if somebody asks, you have to do 5 or 6 EC2 instances, and how much time you will take, you just have to reply 5 minutes, because there is something called summary where you can add number of instances as much as you want. Let's launch our instance. And okay, let's proceed without selecting a key pair. We forgot to add this option. And okay, let's do it. It is creating security group that we have mentioned, and it will take a little bit of time. Let's see. Proceed without key pair. We have already mentioned. Still, it is asking. Let's launch. Yeah. Okay. It has initiated successfully. Let's see when it is ready. So usually EC2 instance gets up and running in minutes. So just assume if you are going to purchase your physical servers, and then you will have vCPUs, and then you will have memory, and you will have machine images and everything. It takes a lot of time. Whereas in cloud, if you want to have one instance, you can launch it within minutes, right? So it usually takes a few minutes to get initialized. It will be running very soon, but this is the status check for initializing. Now, this is a very commonly asked, question in interviews. What is status check? What is 2x2 status check that you used to say? Now, the 2x2 status checks in Amazon EC2 instance, it refers to two types of AWS performs, how AWS performs on your EC2 instances. One is system check, another one is instance check. So system check is the first one. This checks the underlying hardware and AWS infrastructure that your instance relies on. It ensures the physical host network and underlying AWS services are functioning correctly. Second one is instance check. So this checks the software and network configuration of your EC2 instances. It will ensure that the operating system are up and running, they are healthy and they are able to communicate with other AWS infrastructure. Failures might occur, and if anything fails in this status check, you will come to know. So your first status check is about system check. Your second status check is about instance check. In system check, what if it will check the hardware, underlying hardware. In second one, instance check, what it will check the underlying software and OS that you are using. So many people are not able to give answer of these questions. Even when I'm interviewing someone, they are not able to 9 out of 10 people are not able to give me answer of this status check. Everybody knows that is went through a process of status check, but what is status check and what it is actually checking, right? So you should know this, and it takes up to 3 to 5 minutes for status check to pass. Let's see if it has been done or not. I hope you are clear about what is status check, how many types of status check are there. I can drop it in chat. System status check. Uh, Hardware, and another one was instance status check. It checks the software and OS. So if somebody asks you, you are clear about what is status checks, right? Okay. Now it has been passed. So your software and hardware are checked properly and there are no failures. Now what you will do? First one was to create and launch instance. Second one was to host your to download or install your web server. How you will do it? You will have to SSH into this Linux one. So let's click on this one and let's connect. Okay, we want to connect with this instance. Now the instance is in place. What we have to do, we want to go into the environment of the instance, and now we want to download our what's it? Now we want to download our web servers. We want to download Apache or Nginx, whatever we want, right? So you can just click on this and you can directly connect. Whereas if you are in Windows system, you have to do RDP, right? If you are in Linux, you have to do SSH. But this was Amazon Linux, and Amazon gives you a one-click easy solution to get into the environment of your instance. So let me copy this and paste it in chat so that you can also access this. This is the script that we will write once we are inside this environment. Let's get our sudo su. It will give us admin access. Now we want to make sure that it is updated, right? So yum update -y. It might take a little bit of time. Another thing is, I showed you this step by step. There is also a shortcut how you can get all these things before going into your environment. There is something called user data, EC2 user data scripts. So what does this EC2 user data scripts do? They normally run all the scripts that has been mentioned in your EC2 user data at the time of boot. So when the first time your instance is booted, you have given any commands. If you have given commands to update it, or you have given commands to install Apache server, it will create everything when it is booted for the very first time. If you are stopping your instance and then you are starting it, it will not happen. But I want to show you how to do all these things manually. So we have not used the user data option, but that would be also a best practice to use the user data option. I don't know why this is taking a lot of time. Okay, let's wait. Meanwhile, if you want me to show you user data, let me see if I can. Here, if you go into actions, you have to go into instance settings. Over here, you have something called edit your user data. You will click on this one, edit user data. It's still running. Come on. Here you can see in your current user data, there is no data. What you can do, user data currently associated with this instance. Okay, you cannot edit your user data once you are already in the environment. But if your instance is in stop state, first you have to stop your instance, then you have to go into the path that I've showed you, actions, instance setting, and edit your user data. You can write the script that I've pasted over here. and you can just save it. So that is how you can edit your user data. Right now failed to connect to your instance. Why? My network is not stable today. Come on. Let's see. I'll go through a few questions. uh, Ashish has a question. Why can't we take it from marketplace like interest, have it uploaded, and S3 will be working behind REST API, HTTPS? You can take it from marketplace as well, right? But right now we want to go through the easiest step how we can host a dynamic website, and that's why we have taken the one which was already there. Um, Let me connect it again because I'm facing some issues. Web development connect. Identical instances, we can create a template and run it on managed instance group behind this template. Yes, Ashish, there are various ways to have identical instances. One, you can do it through cloud formation template where you can mention that you want 10 different types of instances. Another one that you have already told, using managed instance group behind this template, right? The next one, what you can do is, while doing it manually using console, if you don't want to do it using a template, you can just enter the number of instance that you want to do. There are many people who don't know. All right, there are many people who don't know how to let me create another one and let me launch it soon, who don't know how to create entire template, and that's where it's easy for them to use this one. Okay, let's proceed without. It's created. Meanwhile, any question, we can have it in chat. Just for the time this takes to launch. Okay, it's running. Instance is up and running, but we are still waiting for status check to pass. Can you please explain what these commands do? Yeah, sure. Sudo su is for in Linux environment. Sudo su is for getting admin access, so that you have all the privileges to run all the commands. Yum update y will give you the latest updates. It will check whether your environment is up to date or not. Next one is yum install httpd-y is to install Apache server. So we were going to install Apache server, right? So this is the command for that. This one is to get your PHP files. So I had in mind that I will host a PHP file and I will show you how a dynamic website is hosted. We will see if we still have time, or else we'll skip this stage. But I will show you how you can install a server, and from there you can continue. Service HTTPD start means it will start your Apache server, and service HTTPD status will give you the latest status to check whether your Apache server is started or not. I'm not sure how many of you know how to create a file in Linux. I don't know if you're using such commands or not, but yeah, okay, this one is created. Let me connect it. MKDI and CD2 access. Yeah, okay, perfect. Again, you have, we used to have so many different kinds of, file editors. Vim is my favorite. Vim is what I use. So you can have your web pages over there. You can upload it over there. You can edit it again. You can go into that again and you can do it. So that is what we generally do. Yes. You know, okay. New alarms. Perfect. Let me just select it. I don't know. It's my internet or what's wrong with this. Let's close this. Let's see. In terms of working in production environment, running application in managed instance group behind template will be more suitable as will give repair, auto heal and health checks. Right. If you're working in production environment, you can use that, but way better than that is cloud formation. So if you see in enterprise environment, they will be using either Terraform or cloud formation to launch anything in their environments. They will not use manual whatever we are doing using this console. They will not prefer doing that, right? So if you want to work in production environment rather than managed instance group, what you can use is cloud formation or Terraform. And I'm not able to select this one. Let me load these ones. Let me switch my internet if that's the problem. I think we should be good now. All right. Okay, let's connect. Perfect. I think that was the issue of my internet. And yeah, we're inside the environment. We will run these commands. Establishing connection. You want link? Is there a WhatsApp group where we can support and engage in discussions with each other? Uh, you might have some internal WhatsApp group. I'm not sure, but Ranjit would be able to answer that. And okay, sudo su yum update -y. Yum install. All right. Meanwhile, this takes time. If you have any other question related to AWS, related to certificates, related to how to get started, you can just drop it in the comment section because we are already running out of time. We have completed 1 hour, and I don't know why it's not able to update this thing. Let's see. Or else I will share a video. I have videos created for this specially, and I can share that link with Ranjit, and Ranjit would be able to share you in your WhatsApp group if you are not able to get through this right now. And we can go through any of the questions. I'm reading chats. If you have any questions, you can just throw at me. All right. Mm-mm. I don't have an ETA. I need to fetch. It is now starting the process. Usually, this process has been started and it comes to an end. It goes the WhatsApp. Would it be better to do direct DevOps certification? Sahani, are you talking about DevOps professional, AWS DevOps professional certificate? All right. Okay. So the thing is, I assume that you are in your maybe third year of college or something like that. And if that is the case, no, it would not be a good, good step or good thing to get your DevOps certificate first, because professional certificate is very, very tough to crack. What you can do is either start with cloud practitioner or either start with solutions architect associate or maybe developer associate. If you want to go into DevOps, developer associate is also a good one, and solutions architect associate is also a good one. But going directly towards DevOps professional and matching your work experience, it would not leave a good impression on your employer or your interviewer. And honestly speaking, DevOps professional is a very, very tough exam, because when I sat for the exam, I was completely sweating. I was in air conditioner of 22 degrees and I was sweating like literally in winter, because you will have scenario based questions. You will have questions which will involve 4 or 5 AWS services, and that too in very detail. So it is little bit hard, and you need a lot of hands on. You should know entire AWS services for DevOps in and out. So you can do it maybe after 1 or 2 years of professional experience. After working in industry for 1 or 2 years, you can go for that certification, and then you can clear DevOps certification, professional one. The starting would be good if you go with cloud practitioner, and if you feel that cloud practitioner you already know, and I believe that it is a expensive certificate as well. So if you think that cloud practitioner is not the one you want to go for, you want to go for some higher level certification which will add more value, more credibility to your profile, you can go with solutions architect associate, and that's where you can begin your journey. And after doing that, after passing that certificate, you can jump into DevOps professional. That is fine. If not solutions architect, you can go for developer associate. So these are the two options. After CCP, how to approach solutions architect and developer certificate. So Ranjit, after CCP, in CCP, there are very basic questions, right? Which service is used for monitoring and logging? CloudWatch. There are different kinds of public, private, and hybrid kind of clouds. These are very basic questions that AWS asks in CCP, which is good. Now you know CCP, now you know all the services, now you know use case of services. If you want to go through solutions architect, you have to determine one course. My favorite course is Stephen Marek's course, which is easily available on Udemy. You can get that course. B, you have to perform as many hands-on as you can. So you have to perform labs. It might be very small labs, but you have to perform it, because if you don't have practical experience, it's nothing. You will not be able to solve questions. And solutions architect questions are very much scenario basis. Let me end this one, because i'm not um, I'm not getting through this. And I will share the link how to get this done. I will share the link, but right now let's skip it. Where is my Okay, I'll stop presenting. Okay, so I was at okay, Ranjit. Yeah, Stephen Meyer's course is the best one, right? So you can have your labs, you can perform your labs, then you can sit for practice test, and that is also very much important. You will have very freely available practice test. I will also tell you one thing, that there are real time dumps available, but that is not a good practice, because if you want to give certification, do it on your own capabilities. So don't go for the dumps that are available on few websites. Rather than that, practice labs, and then solve practice test question. AWS also provides sample practice test questions. There are also few questions by Tutorials Dojo. The name of that channel on Udemy is, I think, the owner of that channel is John Bonso. So he prepares very good practice test questions. So you can sit for that as well. So this is how you can approach solutions architect. You can do hands-on. You can build mini projects for your resume. Then you can give practice test, and then you can give the real exam. Um, Okay, I'm working with GCP architects and opting for GCP ACE and professional cloud architect next month. An easy way to learn bash command. Right now, I'm only copy and pasting. So there might be few crash course, Ashish, available on YouTube for bash commands. Learn bash scripting in 1 hour or something like that. So that would be the easiest way, I would say, because it's a scripting language, right? You have to learn it, you have to practice it, and how much you will practice it, you'll be able to solve that. So I think yeah, you can go through few crash course, because don't go through the entire one video, which is very lengthy. Don't go through that. Go through crash courses, that would be beneficial. And if you're preparing for GCP, all the very best. And yeah. Mm, Okay. Is it necessary to do all the AWS badges to secure job in Amazon? As I think in total it costs twice the college fees approximately. Yes, Harsh. It's very expensive. Trust me, it's very, very expensive. But it is not at all necessary to get badges or certifications to clear exam in Amazon. Why we are saying that certificates add credibility is, okay, if you're a fresher trying to apply for any job, right? I have two candidates, one who does not have any certificate, one who does have some certificates, right? But I will not choose on that basis. I will also see that if you have done any hands-on few mini projects on those services. If yes, and also if you have certificate, you would be my first choice, because I will feel like it is worth investing my 30 minutes interviewing you, because you have certificate. That means that you have at least some knowledge of that specific thing. If it is about AWS, if Terraform, GCP, Azure, whatever thing, right? So if you have certificate, your credibility will definitely be increased. You will feel more confident. And it is not necessary to go all 12. You want to be one engineer, right? Either DevOps or ML or AI or cloud. You don't want to be everything. So there is a very good path curated by AWS, which will give you clarity on what you want to become and how many certificates you have to do. Let me grab that link for you, Harsh, so that you will not spend your twice as many of college fees in that. And if you want to be a DevOps engineer, simple, be developer associate. If you want to be cloud practitioner, do that, or developer associate, and then you can jump towards DevOps professional. So that is there. And okay, this is the link. I have copied it, I have pasted this. I don't know, is this the same? Okay, let me get it. Yeah. All right, so I have got the link, and this link will give you a roadmap of how to appear for specific certification that will align your career goals. Next one is, we have vouchers for exam. Keep hustling in the community and attend. All right, if you, I also have something. Ranjit do have vouchers, and I hope they have more discounts. But if not, and if someone outside of your club wants to give any exam, and if they want some discount, this is the challenge that is going on by AWS. I have pasted that link. In this link, if you want to do any associate level certificate, you will get 50% off. So try this as well. I have pasted two links that might be helpful. Next one, is there any website other than AWS free tier for hands-on practice? Yes, 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 we definitely have websites. One is AWS Educate. So I'll grab the link for you. Copy link. In AWS Educate, you will get hands-on labs. You will also be provided with sandbox environment. If you don't have free TL environment, still you want to practice how to solve a lab, how to perform all these tasks, AWS Educate is a place for you. Sign up if you haven't already. And yeah, that would be very much helpful to you. Apart from educate, you have something called AWS skill builder, where you will get all the courses. If you don't want to spend your money into Udemy or from other websites, skill builder have something that can get you through that. And skill builder also have some, classrooms where you can get all the courses and everything. So just try to, explore all these things. I'm just pasting links which are very very much useful to you. Try to explore it whenever you get time. I get 100% discount voucher from my AWS business unit into my organization. Wonderful. So that's great. You should be proud of it. uh, Rohit, is this also for me if I'm a full stack developer? See, I have a friend who is a full stack developer. He was backend first and now he is a full stack developer. And recently, his management forced them to at least have one AWS certificate because the customer they're working with, their environment is in AWS. So whatever developing they have to do is in AWS, right? So customers also want someone who is qualified for that. And to show them that our employees are qualified, they need few certificates. So he is right now practicing for developer associate certificate. So yes, if you're full stack developer and if you're working a little bit in cloud, you can go through these certificates. All right. What else have I missed? Cool. Thank you, ma'am. How to connect with you? Can you share your LinkedIn? Absolutely. Why not? Control C. Here's my LinkedIn if you want to get connected. And I'm very much active on LinkedIn. So if you're asking any questions, you will get response within few hours or something like that. Try to implement some basic steps. Okay. And Harsh, about your question of AWS badges, in AWS Educate also you get few badges which you can show on your LinkedIn or somewhere like that. So that might be helpful to you as well. Yes, Ashish. You can create a bash script and attach it while creating the instance. That is the thing which I told you about edit user data. So this entire thing can be done using a user data script. How to use user data. So this is the link for that question, how to get it automatically when your software starts. Predly badges are free, yes. What is the path to be a solutions architect at AWS from any service or from any service, any insights? Yes, the path is very simple. Be a practitioner, cloud practitioner. And by saying be a practitioner, I'm not stating that you should have a certificate. No. Being a practitioner means you have knowledge of cloud AWS, you have knowledge of AWS services, you know the use case of AWS services, and you know little bit hands-on. Then if you want to be a solutions architect, you need to get how two services communicate with each other, because architect means designing your infrastructure, right? So how you will design infrastructure? Your infrastructure cannot be of 2 or 3 services. It can be of 15 to 20 services and sometimes more than that. So you should know how 3 or 4 services work properly with each other. You should know how S3 work with CloudFront, how S3 work with Route 53 for domain, how S3 work with SCS for email notification. So these are few things what you have to do. You should be very well versed with creating architectures, highly scalable architectures. You should know a few hands-on, few mini projects on that, and then you can go for certificate of solutions architect, and later you can go for solutions professional. Certificates are not mandatory, not required. What matters is knowledge and your hands-on practice. As much hands-on as you do, it would be good. So this is how you can be a solutions architect. You have to be a practitioner first, and then slowly and steadily you can go through that. And if you want to know more about what a solutions architect do, read some case studies on that. And if not, connect with me on LinkedIn. I will share a few case studies with you. All right, I think we are done mostly, and almost 1.5 hours. I'm sorry I've taken this much of your time. Any other questions? We have last 1 or 2 minutes. If you have any questions, you can throw it. are good. Thumbs up if you are good. I'm not seeing any thumbs up either. Okay. I can see. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Anand. Thank you so much, everyone. And Ranjit, I'm handing it over to you.
It was a lovely session. We enjoyed it a lot. Hopefully, we will have you again in the future for more sessions. And I vouch that audience will be much larger in future sessions. We had actually our university had holidays of approximately 10 to 15 days. So everyone went home.
To be honest, it doesn't matter how many people joins. It matters whoever joined learned something. And on Sunday evening, man, this is great. So, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, okay, so everyone, you can connect with ma'am on LinkedIn. I will share you this PPT. This PPT includes multiple keywords. You can know about AWS Cloud Club, what are the broad and new functionalities of Cloud Club. Also, you must explore this student hub, which is powered by AWS. This is extremely new, and this has uh, various newsletters every week, which is great to read. You can straight head up to s12d.com/students and read about everything. There are AWS heroes, AWS community builders, AWS user groups and I must say in near Lucknow user groups are not that much, but Delhi NCR user group, Ahmedabad user group, and Vadodara user group are very active and they conduct a lot of sessions, and those sessions are really inspiring and knowledgeable. You guys must explore all that, and I will request you to please fill this feedback form. Uh, you will get an email from my side from the meetup. So I will request you to please fill this feedback form. And if you want to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn. Linked with QR code. You can find everything here. Also, we are on LinkedIn as an AWS Cloud Club. You must follow that also. This was for our college students, but they are not very much. Okay, I think that is all. So I will be sharing this PPT with you, and hopefully we will have an interaction on LinkedIn. So thank you everyone for joining the session. Thank you, Munshi ma'am, for accepting this beautiful session. Uh, I will approach you for future sessions too. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day.